Excellent. So Tom Hutler is going to do the intro. He's not here right now, so I'm just going to get into questions. This is Shannon O'Kelly, so I'm co-hosting with Tom Hutler, and we'll just get started here.
Okay.
So, well, Jamie, welcome to the show here, and let's get started by talking about your latest feat, and that was April 17th, 2012 here. You won a game and became the oldest pitcher in Major League history to win a game. Is that right?
Yes, it is.
And what was that experience like?
Well, it was like many of the other experiences that I've had over the course of my career, but it was a long-awaited opportunity for me after sitting out for a year and a half with having a ligament replaced in my elbow. So, that was a long time coming. I was anxious to get back out on the field. Obviously, in spring training, I had a great opportunity with the Rockies, and made the club, and obviously, getting a start here in Colorado and winning a game was a special day for myself and my family.
Well, that's so true, but I think people need to realize not only did you have a ligament replaced in your elbow, you actually had a Tommy John surgery, which is a very significant surgery. And what was it like coming back from that? Because I think last year when you missed that season, is that the first season you had missed in like 40 years of baseball?
Yeah, it was the first summer I hadn't played baseball in 40 years. So it was a little different for me, but it allowed me some opportunities to be at home with my family and do some things that I normally don't do in the summertime. But I did miss the game of baseball, and getting back to it has been great. But, the Tommy John surgery is a surgery that's come a long way, and, I'm very thankful to my surgery doc, Dr. Dave Olchek out in New York, that, did a successful surgery. And, the rehab, to me, the hardest part of the rehab is the length of time that it takes. Putting the work in was, I guess, kind of the easy part, but, the waiting part was the hard part.
And the waiting part, when you talk about the waiting part, I mean, obviously with the Tommy John, there's a specific protocol that you have to follow. And early, probably following the surgery, you probably had to rest and just let it heal. Was that what you experienced?
Yeah, that's exactly right. For about 6 weeks, I could do absolutely nothing with my arm. For somebody who's been active their whole life, it's quite difficult to do. And then even the beginning stages of the rehab, it's just minimal movement, no weight. And just a lot of stretching. What you're trying to do is you're trying to regain your range of motion. And fortunately, I only had 4 degrees to go from post-surgery to back to where my normal range of motion would have been. So it was a little bit easier, but like I said, it took a long time. And I was able to start throwing in April, and then that process took me till September to get back up on a mound, and then go through the rehab aspects of that. Again, took another 6 to 8 weeks. So it was a long period of time, but it was well worth it.
And tell us about the mental side, because I know being a physical therapist, rehabbing patients, a lot of times as you start progressing and you get more active, there's always that subtle thought in the back of their head, the patient's mind is this going to hold? Is this going to work? And how do you deal with that?
Well, I kind of looked at it this way. I put my arm or my career in my surgeon's hands. He regarded this as a successful surgery, and it was up to me to go through the rehab. And as far as that goes, I really didn't concern myself with it. When I got a chance to throw, I stayed with the protocol. And, as I progressed, I pretty much went at it the way I was able to do it. And when I was able to get up on the mound, I tried to put all those thoughts behind me, which I felt like I did a really good job with, and just went out and threw. And I figured, if it's going to go again, it's going to go. But I felt strong, and even today, having this conversation, I feel like I have a new elbow.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. I mean, what you've done is completely amazing based on what you've gone through with the Tommy John. But let's talk about your history in Seattle. And, you and your wife, Karen, started the Moyer Foundation, which I think is really impressive. And you've got an event coming up, but take us back to starting the Moyer Foundation. What inspired you and your wife to do that?
Well, our inspiration was that, we worked with every club that I played with throughout my career. Karen and I were inspired because throughout my career, we've been able to work with the organizations that I've played with in giving back in the community. But we just felt like we could give back more, so we created the Moyer Foundation in 2000. And, we wanted to make a bigger impact with with children in distress, and that's exactly what the mission of the Moyer Foundation is to help children in distress. And we've been able to help many kids, and we've been able to create Camp Aaron and Camp Mariposa, which are two things two causes that we really feel near and dear to our hearts. And Camp Aaron is a free bereavement camp for children ages 6 to 17, grieving the death of somebody close to them. And we feel very fortunate to have actually 40 camps serving 2,500 children each year. And the cool thing is we've been able to create a camp in every Major League Baseball city. And these camps are camps that are fun. They have very traditional elements to the camp, with also a grief education and emotional support in helping the campers to cope with the loss of their daily lives, and realize that they're not alone in their grief. And unfortunately, through the U.S. Census, we have found out that there are more than 1.5 million children grieving the death of a parent, and there's more than 16,000 of those just in Seattle alone. So we just feel like this is a camp that is important to us, and giving back, and to be able to leave a legacy behind in all of the major league cities that I've had the good fortune of playing in is truly an honor.
So Camp Aaron, I mean, for those folks that might not know, I think if I remember right, it started up here in the Northwest, didn't it?
Yes, it did. And we're very honored to have known Aaron Metcalf, and that's who the camp is named after. And we created this camp in her name, as I said, and she was a very strong young woman, and unfortunately she lost her battle. But her family, the Metcalf family, has been very gracious in allowing us to use Aaron's name, and allowing her memory to live with us and the community, and actually throughout our country. So again, it's just a very cool situation.
It sounds like an extraordinary camp. And what about Camp Mariposa?
Well, Camp Mariposa is a first-of-its-kind program for children ages 9 to 12 that are living with an addicted family member. And Camp Mariposa is focused on reducing feelings of isolation, fear, guilt, loneliness, and teaching that the addiction in their life is not their fault, and they can make choices to be different. And fortunately, right now, we have a camp in Washington State, Indiana, Florida, and Pennsylvania. And here's another stat that I'm going to throw at you. More than 8.3 million children in the U.S. live in a home with at least one parent in need of treatment for alcohol and drug abuse. And again, it's a very unfortunate situation. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to break that trend of children following in the footsteps, and trying to give these children tools to cope and to move forward in their lives.
And that's pretty amazing. I mean, that stat you just said, 8.3 million children. I mean, have you and your wife and the foundation noticed? I mean, obviously, since 2008, with the economy kind of going downhill and some of the struggles out there for families, has the need increased? Well,
the need has always been there, and the need, unfortunately, our goal is to get that need to lower. And I think that's by creating awareness in not only our community but around the country. And abuse is something that's been going on for a long time. And I think the biggest thing is to try to help these children grow from this and learn that they can make better choices in their lives and not have to follow the paths of others.
Well, the Moyer Foundation is obviously doing great work, and if we wanted to talk about supporting or helping the Moyer Foundation, how would our listeners get involved?
Well, listeners could get involved by, number one, reaching out to the Moyer Foundation, and that's moyerfoundation.org. The other way is to help us meet our goal of expanding our programs to serve more children each year. There are many ways to do that. You can make a financial commitment that allows us to reach more children. The cost per camper is $500 per camper at Camp Aaron. You can host an event such as a walk, a run, or a golf event to benefit the Moyer Foundation. Engaging your employer to match your personal gift or sponsor an upcoming foundation event, or initiating a supply drive to benefit Camp Aaron or Camp Mariposa. And the coolest thing, people can also volunteer at one of these camps in their community. So, the biggest thing is, every dollar helps us make a difference in the life of a child in need. And, I encourage people that are interested, to reach out to the Moyer Foundation. You can go to our website. You can learn a lot more about, who we are, what we've done, where we are, and where we're going. And fortunately, we've been able to open another office on the East Coast, so we're able to reach out to more people throughout the country and to make a bigger difference. And that's really what it's all about, is making a difference and creating awareness in our country to some of the needs for these children in distress.
And for those people that want to see the Moyer Foundation up close and personal, May 23rd here in Seattle at the Sheraton Hotel, you have an event going on.
Yes, we're having our annual giving luncheon. And you're right, it's May 23rd at the Sheraton Hotel, downtown Seattle. And each year at this event, we present the Humanitarian Award to a well-known sports figure or celebrity who has demonstrated outstanding commitment to philanthropy and helping children in distress. And this year, we're very happy to recognize an ex-teammate of mine, John Olerud, and his wife, Kelly, for their work on behalf of children and families with special needs. This event brings together leaders from the community to recognize the many businesses, organizations, and individuals who are making a difference in the lives of children in distress in our community. So, again, this is a great way to learn more about the Moyer Foundation, and a great way to learn more about organizations in the community that are reaching out and helping children in distress. And if anybody has any questions or would like to learn more, you can also RSVP to the luncheon. You can visit www.moyerfoundation.org or call 206-298-1217.
Well, Jamie, I just want to thank you for your time. And just on a personal note, I was really impressed. And about 2 years ago, I was in Washington, D.C. with about 20 8th grade students. And you took the time out and let the kids come on the field and come in and talk to them for about 20 minutes. And you impressed 20 kids really great that night. So thank you for that.
I remember that, Shannon, and thank you for that great opportunity. It's always a pleasure of mine to be able to meet kids and try to share with them and learn about what they're going through in their lives. And obviously for them it was a pretty cool day. They were on a trip out to Washington, D.C., which is a great place to visit, especially when you're in school. But they had the great fortune of coming to the ballpark and seeing the Nationals ballpark, and we had a meet and greet, and it was a fun time. Their
eyes were extremely wide that night. And again, good luck to you this season. What a great experience. And I just want to wish you the best and stay healthy. You've done a great job of rehabbing yourself. You're a credit to kind of the physical therapy profession, just the amount of rehab that you have done and how well you're doing. So good luck, and to you and your wife, Karen, and the Moyer Foundation, keep up the great work.
All right. Thanks for having me on today, Shannon.